This presentation is about the persistency service, which is part of the N4U information services in Work Package 9. So the job of the persistency service is to index metadata, which is about data sets, into the analysis base. Now those data sets can be hosted in grid storage or in any other storage. Persistency service is not concerned with that. All it does with respect to the datasets is that it allows the metadata of those datasets to be exported into the analysis base. So what we have decided is that the persistency service will accept XML-based metadata about datasets, process the metadata, and index those in the analysis base. So this basic information is available on the N4U website. So at the moment, all the metadata that we have is regarding the ADNI datasets because those are the datasets that are available to us. The ADNI datasets can be downloaded from the LONI website. If you need an account for that, you can email them and register. So they have their own data browser from where you can select which subset of the dataset you want to download. That's the ADNI dataset. You can make your selection, select all, download, and when you press the download button, after a few hours, depending on the size of the sub dataset, you will get folders like this. For example, this is one of the sub datasets. It has lots of subfolders which are regarding different subjects, which are patients. They have a unique identifier, and these folders basically contain deep down an image file and an XML file which has some basic information about the patient. The actual study that was done on the subject has its details in a larger XML file, which I can show you here. It's quite large, there's lots of information here. Again, the persistency service itself is not concerned about what's contained in this XML file, but it does need to index all this information in the analysis base. The problem we have is that there is no metadata that we can use to index all the ADNI dataset. So what we have to do is we have to write another software program to basically analyze the downloaded ADNI datasets and create metadata after analyzing the directory structure and the number and type of files that are in there. So we have done exactly that. What we have is another program that crawls through this whole directory structure, all these sub datasets, and creates yet more XML files. Those XML files are just the metadata of these downloaded ADNI datasets. So if I just run this program, it will go through those directories, and what it does at the end is create some metadata XML files. Now these are in fact the files that we expect from data providers to export to the persistency service. Since at the moment we do not have any data providers or any other data sets from ADNI, we had to create this ourselves. So we have these metadata files. What we have done is we have placed these files on an online location. So this is not the ADNI dataset, this is just those XML files that represent the metadata of the ADNI datasets. So you can have a look in this file. It just describes the dataset, its name, how many images are in there, how many XML files are in there in each dataset. And what we do is we basically export these files to the persistency service. And the persistency service processes these files and indexes the data sets in the analysis base. So the interface, the persistency service interface that does that is this. At the moment, it is not indexing any of the data sets. what we can do is give it the URL of one of the metadata files, which I will copy from here, and tell it to export this file. What it has done is it has read the file, it has processed it, and we can see what that metadata file tells us. This is all the information that is there in the metadata file. It has some other functions like how many data files are in there, how many images are in there, and so on. So we can keep on doing this. We can give it one more XML file, which is the metadata file, and it will keep on importing the metadata of the ADNI datasets. We'll keep on doing that, and once we have imported all the metadata files that are here, there's a secret button on this page which I can use to then store all these metadata files into the analysis base. Now, it's not just file storage, they are processed, and the analysis base indexes all the data sets that are somewhere else. That somewhere else can be a grid storage, but at the moment for us it's a simple HTTP based storage. And you can see what we've already done is this is a database that is basically the analysis base, and you can look into the dataset table, and you can see that there are 8 datasets indexed in the analysis base, and these are in fact the same datasets that we have been importing from this directory that we downloaded from the Loni website. There are some other tables, for example data files, image files, and so on, which are populated, but some tables like analysis, algorithm, pipeline, and so on, these will come later when we have more information and more integration with other work packages. So what has happened at the moment is we have ADNI datasets that we have downloaded from the ADNI website. We have divided them into sub datasets like so. We have created metadata files through a separate program that we wrote. Since there is no metadata associated with the ADNI datasets itself, we had to create that for our own purpose. We have done that, and what we have is these metadata XML files. Now what we do with these files is that we export these files into the persistency service, which then indexes these files in the analysis base, which is for now just a database. So this was a very brief introduction to the persistency service and an explanation of what we have done up till now.